Welcome to Caw Cast.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of, what's this place called? Caw Cast? Yes. Joining me in the studios today, as always, the ever, well, I guess, loyal and present, Garrett. Garrett, what's going on, man?
Not much. Beautiful Sunday morning.
Not
in the great
much.
state of Georgia.
Oh, yes. Man, did you get any April Fool's jokes?
No.
Yeah, man, this is the first year I didn't call my mom and say, something stupid at midnight to where she wanted to cuss me out. But, yeah, man, it's going good. So, guys, we've got a good show going on today. But, first of all, Garrick, I just want to say, real quick, after our movie podcast that we did last week was actually, pretty good. I've had a lot of guys commenting, especially you, John, J.F. Sutton Jr. He has been tweeting me back and forth about just things that he agreed with and didn't like. So it was kind of cool. We have to do that again. We gotta get the crew together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. A fruitful discussion about a terrible movie.
Don't let Edgar hear that. Kidding. You know how we do on here. We love you, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the Hawks played last week. They played the Raptors in Toronto on the end of a 3-game road trip. Anything to say about that?
That game was, I guess, probably the Hawks' worst game in their last. What are they? 12-3 before that game?
Yeah, something like that.
Since their hot streak started, that was probably the worst game they had. Lots of turnovers. Jeff was pretty good in the first half. I guess Coach Bud wanted to concede the game and he took his starters out. Was it the middle of the third?
Yeah.
The bench made a pretty good run, but you kind of knew they weren't gonna win it.
Yeah, he took him out, and it kind of to me, he probably tried to get them ready for Cleveland. Leave that anger or that hunger to try to win. Yeah, Jeff was pretty good in that game. What else do we have that played decently? Looking at the box score right here. Man, starters were just bleh. For whatever reason, Paul Millsap always seems to have a hard time against them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And I think Valanciunas, he gives Horford and Millsap a hard time with his length.
I'm so glad you pronounced it right. I wonder why we don't see former Atlanta Hawks legend Lucas Nogueira playing much. I just feel all kinds of hurt. Bismack Biyombo with the Bismack Biyombo stat of the game: 1 field goal attempt, 1 field goal.
Pretty good at the free throw line, though.
Yeah, he hit
surprisingly.
5 or 6 from the free throw line.
And the ever-present Hawks killer, DeMar DeRozan.
Yep, DeMar DeRozan. Hawks slaughterer. Man, he has taken that relay. He's taken the torch from Vince Carter, I feel. But, this game, just wrap it up real quick. This game pretty much had dropped the Hawks to, what were they, 4th now? Not now, but then. They dropped to 4th or 5th, if I can remember. But then we had a miracle that night. I remember this because we were up watching the the Lakers play.
Yeah.
And the Lakers ended up beating them. I was going to say just pure miracle. Anything else on this game before we move on to Cleveland?
No. I'm curious to see how the Hawks handle their next game with the Raptors at home.
Yeah. It's going to be a good point. I'm hoping the Raptors will. Well, let me see. I don't know how their schedule looks. I was like, do you think the Raptors will be resting then?
When is the game? Thursday?
I think so. Let me see. They play the Suns Tuesday. And Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully. Cleveland will wrap up. I doubt it. What are they? How many games behind are they? 2 games? 2.5
I think
games?
so. Yeah, 2.5. 2.5 or 3. One of those. I'm doing this off the top of my head. But that is it. And it wasn't fun, especially considering, we had the win streak and all that stuff. But moving on, let's talk about the next game that the Hawks had on their list. And I was hoping they went 1 for 2, but I didn't think it. But they played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we saw the game, Garrick. The Cavs got off to a hot start. Coach Bud must have yelled at something, like threatened to take something from them at halftime, because, they came back at the half, took the lead at one point, but eventually had to go to overtime. And, they put up more of a fight. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Yeah, the second half was much more competitive. You got Jeff Teague and Paul Millsap went to work.
Yes. Kyrie Irving reminded me, he's not as good as a defender as his backup that hurts people.
Oh, that guy.
That
Who
guy
shall not be named.
Yeah, him.
And Horford, that was a tough game for Al. 0 for 6 from deep. 5 for 17 overall.
Yeesh. I always thought, how did Millsap do this game? Let me take a look at him.
29 points, 12 rebounds.
Oh, okay, that's good.
2 steals.
Did you make note of, or at least watch whenever they put Tristan Thompson in the game? Because I always thought, Tristan always would give I just said Horsap. Man, that's the second time I've done this. We really needed Dennis Bazemore in this game. But Millsap. Paul Millsap. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying that Tristan Thompson, at least he gave him troubles last year. So it was good to see Millsap have a good game like that. And, man, something that kind of stood out to me is the Cavs went play a 9-man rotation, and LeBron played 44 of those minutes.
Yeah.
Head coach Tyronn Lue really didn't want to lose to the Hawks. I don't know why. Do you know why? he wouldn't want to lose to him?
He should be used to losing in Atlanta.
Maybe we should put on the gold jersey so he could have, gotten used to it.
Well, Mike Scott played 9 minutes and didn't take a shot.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's
Not
right.
take a shot. Wow. But did you see Kent Bazemore's fall?
Oh, which one? Because I saw multiple.
The one where LeBron slid in late.
Oh, the one they actually called a charge on him?
Yeah.
When they called a charge on him then, I was just kind of like, I just don't get this league sometimes. That and the screens, because somebody put up a video of what a moving screen was, and it's kind of funny that in the example they use Kevin Garnett, but I was looking at this game and I was like, yeah, I really don't know what a moving screen is compared to what I've seen with some of these. But hey, it was like your classic game as a Hawks fan of when they play the Cavs or when they play LeBron. It just angers you.
Yeah.
I mean, just angers you watching LeBron play. And it's like, really?
The starters, for the most part, were good in this game. Kent Bazemore was so. He had 12 rebounds and 6 assists.
Yeah, and, well, he was doing the best he could.
Yeah, but the bench, that's probably where we lost it.
Yeah. What happened to Dennis, man? I seem to remember just, like, it was rough watching him.
Yeah, that when he usually comes in, what does he come in, like, in the end of the first quarter? Plays half of the second. That was when Cavs took off.
Yeah, Dennis, man. What is it about Dellavedova that, like, people can't, our guys just, I don't know. You would think, like, matched up on him. Dennis should shred Kyrie, like, offensively at least, if he has him on him. Now, that is unless if they did a switch. Unless if the Cavs are switching around and put Shumpert on him, I guess. But, I don't know. Hardaway continued to his rough shooting. Dennis didn't look good. Yeah. I don't know. It'd just be interesting moving forward. But at least I know, like, I don't know. Would you see this as a moral victory? If there is such a thing?
I guess you can take positives from the second half.
Yeah.
What they did, how they played defensively.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it.
I mean, this is the best team in the East this year, so it's not like, I don't know, you can get too upset. But on T.I. night? By the way, Garrick, I wish they would put, do they put those T-shirts up for sale that they have with, like, T.I. and whatnot?
I know they put the 2 Chainz T-shirt up for sale. I don't know.
Man, I want the T.I. ones because last year when I went to go get it, it was sold out. When I went to the Hawk store, the only size they had left was like triple XL.
Well, it's a tall T, Josh.
Yeah, it's not. If it were
2000 Ti in 2005.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it was like 2002, 2004 again, I would totally get it. But that's that. JR shot 9 3-pointers. Same with Kevin Love. Wow. I didn't know
he missed a couple wide open ones, surprisingly.
Well, he doesn't like taking wide open shots. Remember? It's like
hand in his face.
Yeah, it's only when it makes more fun.
Yeah.
But as we know from the shooting god himself, Kyle Korver acknowledged the shooting ability of J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
So let's move on real quick. We got about 10 minutes before I'm going to invite our guests on. We got some time, man. Nice. So let's go on and talk about real quick. I guess, do you want to talk about the upcoming? Well, want to go over the standings real quick, where we're at? Play conspiracy theory with the upcoming schedule. So in my tabs that I have pulled up on my computer, I got the Hawks, Celtics, Hornets, Heat schedule because that's really the only ones we're paying attention to right now. Did you see the Celtics pulled the miracle?
Yeah.
Do you know how much, I wanted to see them lose. Like, I wanted to see both teams lose, but it was just kind of like, I will take one lesser evil over the other and root for Golden State that game. And sure enough, it's like when we need these high-powered Western Conference teams to win. Because you remember, I want to say a week ago or so, the Spurs lost to the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they up and lose to the freaking Celtics. Like,
The the Trailblazers did us a favor last night.
oh, they did us more than a favor. Yeah, I appreciate that. I was kind of hoping they would win, but first of all, let's talk about the Heat for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Heat. So they lost to the Lakers, which was a favor. Like, I don't know. I was just like looking at the game. I was like, please, Lakers, please, Lakers. Yeah, it was a miracle they won that. But then that same night, it was just kind of like as one miracle happened, another one was undone. And DeMarcus idiot, like, God, moron.
Yeah.
When we needed Cousins, like when we needed him. Yeah. So you saw that happen because you pointed that out to me. I was like, crap, please let them take back that technical. Nope. Cousins was suspended that game. But yeah, Trailblazers. I don't know if you call it tough or not, but the Heat go up and play the Pistons and then Bulls these next two games.
Pistons probably tough. The Bulls, Taj Gibson's out. Derrick Rose is surprise, hurt.
We'll see what happens. The game's on Thursday, so their game is on Thursday. Then they play the Magic away and then at home. Magic are an annoyingly tough team.
Yeah.
Then they play the Pistons again, the second to last game of the year, and then the Celtics for their final game.
Good job, schedule makers, having them play the Celtics in the last game.
Yeah, I know that. So the Hornets, after convincingly winning 2 straight games against the 76ers, congratulations, guys. Like, really, you beat the 76ers twice. They play the Cavs today on the road, and then they play the Raptors Tuesday on the road.
Then a back-to-back?
On a back-to-back? No, it's not back-to-back.
The Raptors, then the Knicks.
Oh, then the Knicks. Yeah, on back-to-back. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel they can beat the Knicks, but
Porzingis is out, isn't he?
Who?
Isn't Porzingis out for the year?
Is he?
Well, they might sit him out for the year.
Honestly, did the Knicks have a draft pick this year?
No.
Okay. Nah, it's whatever for them. I mean, if they win, it really does nothing. If they just sit him and make sure he doesn't get hurt, I don't know. But who are we talking about? The Hornets. They play the Cavs, the Raptors. Let's hope that Kyrie still continues to think that they're the team to beat, and they come out and play tough. I'm glad that they play the Raptors kind of before the schedule, before the end of the year when the Raptors might be resting people.
Yeah. Because
the Raptors, if they can win those 2 games, they can think that, you would think that they could beat the Knicks and then the Nets. It's going to be interesting to see how it is because the Celtics they play the Knicks, the Nets, then the Wizards. That might be the time where you might think about resting or not, depending how the Cavs schedule looks. But the Wizards are going to try to win. So who knows? And then the Celtics are definitely going to try to win. And then they play the Magic the last game of the year. They're probably going to be resting, so that doesn't matter. But depending what happens, their second to last game of the year is against the Celtics. And we might see, I don't know. We don't know if they're going to try to beat the Celtics or not.
You think some of these teams are going to try to avoid 4th and 5th and try to get the 6th seed?
Ooh, that's a good point.
I don't know about if the Heat will. Heat probably think they have a chance against the Cavs.
Okay, so I would think that, but I would.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I was going to say, if any of the teams, maybe the Celtics, but I feel like they're too proud in what they do, and they're really just there for the experience, if that makes sense. So they don't care. And then the only other team are the Hornets, and I don't know. I feel like they try to win every game, and they try to win every game, so they might not tank. Just because I don't know, it's the Hornets. It's I feel they don't think that far ahead. Not that they don't think that far ahead, but they're that competitive that they want to win every game. I feel the same for both those teams. And then, as you mentioned, the Heat think they probably have a chance to beat the Cavs because they've done it before.
What about the 7th and 8th seed? Who do you see taking that?
How close are the games in the 7th and 8th? Detroit, Indiana.
Half a game. Detroit 7th, Indiana's half a game back. At 8.
Where are the Wizards and the
Wizards
Bulls?
are 3 games out of the last, and the Bulls are 2 games out.
Man, I can't believe the second best
team. The Wizards are dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to come back out of this. But the second best team in the East, the Bulls.
Yeah. I'm taking a look at the standings right now. Chicago. Well, wait, Chicago is I think Washington has to win out to basically think they have a chance, but nah. I really don't know. I need to look at the schedules. But of what I can tell with reading Detroit's name, I know they have kind of a somewhat tough schedule. Let me look up the Pacers' schedule. Well, the Pacers play the Knicks today, so there's that.
They lost to the... Who did they lose to? The Nets the other night? So nothing's guaranteed for them.
They play the Cavs, and these Cavs and Raptors games just show up for everybody. So they play the Cavs.
Like the final boss when you get to the
end of the game. Yeah. It's like they're playing. Well, I was going to make a super nerd reference, but they play the Cavs on Wednesday and the Raptors Friday, then Nets, Knicks, and then the Bucks last game of the season. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be. 2 of those are, to me, guaranteed losses considering they're this week, and I don't think both teams. It'll be interesting to see when the Cavaliers start to shut it down for the year. And then from there, we'll get the domino effect of, when the Raptors. All right. Okay, so I just sent it out. We'll see when our guest joins us. But Celtics, let's talk about the Celtics real quick. Oh, boy, looking at the Celtics. Okay, so the Celtics play the Lakers. That's going to be a win. The Pelicans, probably a win. The Bucks, probably a win. Hawks, no idea. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so the last 3 games on the Celtics schedule are the Hawks, Hornets, Heat. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a way to end the year.
Schedule making sure get some raises.
Who do we play? Okay, so we play the
Wizards.
We play the Cavs. This is our second to last game, so maybe the Cavs will have shut it down by then. But I'm kind of anticipating to play the the Raptors at full force. Celtics definitely on Saturday. It's going to be really disappointing, and it'd be so Hawks if we lost to the Suns Tuesday. So while we wait, I want to talk about the Suns game that we're probably going to be watching and recording at the same time.
Yeah.
Somebody confirmed about your countdown to the draft thing for that.
Oh, yeah. That's like tanking 2.0.
Tanking 2.0. Just admitting to the fans. Oh, man. But do we get to see, is Hawks legend John Jenkins still on the Suns?
He was on the Suns? I did not know that.
I thought I could be wrong. I thought they picked him up.
Yeah, he is on the Suns.
Oh, okay. Whew, okay, I was right. Hawks legend John Jenkins.
Who's the guy who hit the game-winning shot? Was that Archie Goodwin or?
Might have been.
Against the Hawks.
Oh, against the Hawks?
Yeah, earlier this year.
I actually forgot about that game.
Isn't Eric Bledsoe back too? So
why? It's going to make me mad is when the Suns are going to actually come out and try to win this game. I'm going to be like, why? What's the Suns lineup look like? Because I'm not sure. If Eric Bledsoe's back, does Devin Booker start?
He's the best player. He better start. Well, not the best player, but
the only one with promise.
Yeah.
Let me look up their game. Well, they lost to the Wizards, so there's that. Let me look up the Suns' most previous game. That is not what I'm trying to look up. There we go.
Eric Bledsoe's not back, apparently. I must have been thinking of Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight played, but no, he did not play. In that last game, Alex Lynn and Tyson Chandler gave the Hawks a lot of trouble. I think Tyson Chandler had a career high in rebound.
Tyson Chandler is on the All-Star. I remember you made a post a couple of years ago of like all-time great players that never made the All-Star team against the Hawks. No, I can't remember, but he's one of those players.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Garrick and I are going to be taking a quick break right now. But when we get back, we are going to have the great, Garrick, I guess you would say the great play-by-play, TV analyst. We're going to have Bob Rathbun stopping by in the studios to talk to us. So when we get back, we'll be sure to have Bob on here.
All right. Great. Welcome back, guys. Joining us today in our celebrity hotline, I guess, seat in Caw Cast Studios, we have Mr. Bob Rathbun, the legend himself. Bob, welcome back.
Hey, guys. How are you all doing?
We are doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be talking to you.
Thank you. That was a tough one Friday night.
Well, moral victories, Bob. That's what I'm about.
Do they have a column for that on the standings?
Win, loss, tie. Yeah. We'll replace it with the tie since there's not one in basketball.
MV, moral victory.
Oh, that's great. Well, just to let the people out there know, Bob here, I took a vacation home to go see my parents for Christmas. I ran down at the end of the game, and Bob was nice enough to take a selfie with me. So Bob is for the people, and we appreciate that.
Man of the people.
Man of the people.
What you guys want to talk about?
We're going to be talking about Hawks, man. No, I'm kidding. Well, let me first of all say to you, Bob, last time we talked, you mentioned how the beginning of the year was kind of rough just because it was new faces, new people. We were missing a starter. And you know what? You were right. The Hawks picked it up, especially these last 12, 14 games or whatever it was since All-Star break. So just want to point out, man, you've been right on that. And feel free to tell us how right you are.
Well, I tell you, the amazing part, I think, of our success over the last month or so really has been the addition of Chris Humphries. Our starting unit has remained intact since Bazemore took over at the 3. But the bench has been in and out. We've seen progress from, obviously, Dennis, but Tim Hardaway has come on, where we didn't have him earlier in the year. But we needed a glue guy to form up that second team, and I think they found it in Chris Humphries. He gives us a little muscle. He gives us some toughness and rebounding that they had not had, and we were looking for a big after Tiago went down with the season-ending surgery. So, they worked on the Humphries deal for quite some time, first via a trade and then a buyout, as it turned out, from Phoenix. So we were lucky to get him, and I thought that probably sparked our move more than anything. That and the fact that we played just outstanding defense and have been the number 1 rated defensive team since the first of the year. So I think those two things probably have fueled our success more than anything.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to watch them these past couple weeks, and I'm hearing you in the broadcast, man. You always sounding like you're having fun. You had a comment saying, I want to say, I may be wrong in this quote, but you said, "Oh man, the only thing that could stop Jeff Teague tonight is Mike Budenholzer."
That was to take him out of the game. Well, he does need his rest,
Yeah.
There's no telling what's going to come out of this mouth during a broadcast, so that's why you got to tune in every night.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. We appreciate it. Garrick, you got anything?
Bob, how would you handicap this 3-6 race in the East? Bias aside. Well,
yeah,
we're all biased.
Well, we're all right there. Charlotte's at Cleveland later today, and we would think the Cavs would win that game. We had Boston down for a loss at Golden State, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, you're coming down. We've still got a home game left with Boston. We still have Toronto Thursday. We go to Cleveland and go to Washington, but by that time, their fates may be known in terms of a playoff season. So we may not get, LeBron and that whole cast as they start to rest people. And by the time that we get to Washington, I'm sure they'll be eliminated from contention. So we may get a break on those last two road games. But I think one of the big things for this team is to regain that swagger a little bit. I thought we lost it in Toronto. It was a very bitter defeat. Everybody talks about what a great comeback we made, and we did, and to the players' credit. But, I hate the fact that we got to get down by 21 before we start playing. We need to have that right from the start. So I think any of these, this could still fall any way. You asked me to handicap 3 through 6, and, probably, Charlotte probably, if they could upset Cleveland today, they might solidify third given their schedule. Miami was 1-2 out west. They only got beat again last night in Portland. But they've got the tiebreaker over the Hawks, so it's like, even a tie, we're a game behind them. We do own the tiebreaker on Charlotte. We're up 2-1 on Boston. So those tiebreakers head-to-head are key. Multiple tie. You go to conference standings. So, these are some big games. This is our last one against the West Tuesday with Phoenix, and then we're Eastern the rest of the way. So, still a little too early to tell. I think by next weekend, obviously we'll have a lot clearer view of it. But probably Boston maybe playing the best. But let's see how they do against the Lakers tonight. I mean, there's just no real guarantee. As we saw with Miami losing to the Lakers last week. So a lot of ball to be played, and I just want us to get rolling. I want these last 5 to be back where we were, with Detroit and Chicago, and just playing that great D and, looking good on offense and really clicking, because now's the time to turn it on.
So everybody knows right now, Bob is doing all this schedule and stuff off the top of his head, which is really neat. Me and Garrick were just talking about all this, Bob. We actually kind of mentioned the exact same things you were talking about, but I was looking at a schedule. So this is neat. You could do it off the top of your head.
I live this stuff, This is my whole life. I don't do anything else but study this stuff. I have no life.
Oh, man. So, saying all that, do you have a preference of... Obviously, we want the Hawks to get the 3rd seed right now.
Yes.
Obviously, that's what we want. Do you have a preference on who we would play? I asked this because I was listening to the Hang Time podcast with Seiko Smith, and he had Marvin Williams, our good buddy, on the podcast. He said he would want to come to Atlanta, but it was more as for the fact because of travel and because, family, and he knows the location and all that.
Right. I really don't. The one thing that I worry about probably more than anything is if you play Miami, are you going to get the whistle? Are you going to get a fair whistle?
Yeah.
That I worry about because, they're one of the favored species.
Yeah.
And we're not. So I worry about that. I don't worry about that so much with Charlotte. A little bit with Boston, but I would really be concerned about Miami. That said, obviously based on the results, we match up a lot better with Charlotte and Boston than we do the Heat. It's Interesting question. We've had such good success with Charlotte. I would think that would be a favorable Hawks matchup. I think we've matched up favorably with Boston, to be honest with you guys. And because they're a lot like us, they don't have the dominant score, they don't have the superstar that's going to get the whistle. So I think those two teams probably more than Miami, but we could do some things to hurt the Heat too. So the only thing is, like you say, I want to finish third or fourth. So if it does go 7, you're going to have the game in Phillips Arena. I think that would be key. I don't think home court advantage in the playoffs is that big a deal if the teams are fairly even, because each can win on the other guy's court. But if it does come down to a game 7, that's when you want home court advantage, because then the odds of winning increase to like 75-25 over history, and you want that on your side.
Yeah. For the guys out there listening, also, second thing right now, Garrick was just nodding his neck off to everything you were saying, because Bob, everything you're saying is basically what Garrick has been telling me the last week or so. So
right.
That's Garrick. You've been Go ahead, man. Go ahead if you have anything.
I just kind of wanted to talk about Bob's career. How did you get started in business, and what do you prefer? I know that you call ACC and SEC games. What do you prefer, professional game or?
Yeah, well, I'm one of those weird guys that I like them both. I like college for what it is, and obviously the NBA is the highest level of basketball in the world, so you appreciate, the professional side of it. I think I feel that way because I grew up as a kid in North Carolina, and I was pretty heavily involved in the ACCs as a statistician and radio person, keeping stats and stuff when I was a junior in high school. So I got to see a lot of the history of that conference, and have been broadcasting games for Raycom for 28 years. So, I've got a little special place in my heart for that. But the pro game is special. It's so much fun. Just love it. I'm little frustrated here. We haven't had a game since Friday, so I'm getting a little antsy. I'm ready to get back in the gym. But I started when I was 12. I grew up in a small town in North Carolina, and when I was 12 years old, the announcer on duty invited me down to the radio station after I called him and complimented him on the programming. And that began an every Sunday ritual for me where I hung out at the station. And one day the sportscaster showed up and said, "Well, son, if you like sports and you like radio, help us broadcast these baseball games, American Legion ball in the summertime." They were on the radio because the team was so good, perennial state champs, and packed the ballpark, and a lot of interest in town. And I kept stats and got the guy Coke, which is what 12-year-old kids ought to do. And one day he said, "Are you ready to make your debut?" And I said, "Well, I guess I am." And I broadcast a ball game in the bottom half of the 7th inning of this American Legion baseball game when I was 12, and that's how it started for me. And I've basically at it ever since. I was when I was a sophomore in college, I worked full time and went to school full time, and have been at it ever since. And then obviously got into TV later on, and it's been great. It's my 20th year with the Hawks, and wouldn't trade it for a thing.
Oh man, that's something. Wow. Well, I have a couple questions NBA related that we ask pretty much everybody that comes on here. Last week we had Sir Foster on, and
okay.
So I wanted to ask you this:
What a talent, by the way!
Oh,
amazing!
Yeah, and kind of his story of coming in. Of he plays. A lot of people didn't know he plays 2 instruments, and just really talented.
And he's such a positive guy. I hope that came across when you talked to him.
Yeah, we told him everything. He was very thankful, very humble, very humble.
Yeah, he's great.
Great guy.
But what did you ask him?
Well, we ask everyone that comes on, do you have a welcome to the NBA moment? Like you're like, wow, I'm, broadcasting in the NBA or something.
Well, if I did, I would have to go back. probably to when I was working for Home Team Sports up in Washington, and I was filling in, and we had Jordan in the early years at the Cap Center. That was pretty cool. But to me, it was more hanging around guys like Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes, coach, and just hearing the stories about, the playing days coming up and, stuff like that. That was more of it, hanging around Lenny Wilkins when he was our coach, and hearing all the stories about St. Louis and, the old days. That was more a welcome to the NBA moment, that you're actually talking to these legends, and hanging around them, more so than any one like game or, something like that.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Because, I sit next to, a walking history book every night. So just to hear his stories, are great. But, I think that's probably more of a welcome to the NBA moment for me.
Did you know that, is this the same guy that has a statue out in front of Phillips Arena?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about now.
Well, I tell I kid when we play San Antonio. I always kid Pop, and I say, you guys didn't really do enough for Dominique when he was a San Antonio Spur. And Pop says, well, why? I said, well, if he hadn't have been so bad, you guys wouldn't have stunk, and you wouldn't have gotten Tim Duncan. If Neek would have been a great player for you, you'd have missed a lot of pick, and the rest would have been history.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Does he have a reaction to this, or is he just
Dominique or Pop?
That's
Pop laughs.
Oh, okay.
And Nick says, "Hey, wait a minute. He was playing me a power forward. How much is he even scoring?" We hear it all.
Wow. Well, my second question, which I normally ask, you kind of just answered it. I say, but if you have another one, please let us know. I ask pretty much everyone, do you have like a funny kind of behind-the-scenes moment that, guys wouldn't hear on TV or read that you could tell us?
That I listened to?
Yeah, well, for instance, I remember KL told me that one time Mike Muscala was asked for quotes for an interview once, and he was shocked, saying, "Someone wants to speak to me?" So it was just something small like that, if you have one.
Thinking back, like some of the broadcasters, some of the legends, I think the one thing that was so cool was how helpful, the legends of the game were to me. I got the chance, obviously, to be with Chick in L.A. when, he was at the end of his career in Los Angeles, and, the Eddie Doucettes of the world, these guys, legendary play-by-play guys, the Marv Alberts that you'll see from time to time when TNT's in town, et cetera. Mike Breen couldn't be nicer. I think that's probably the one thing that, makes you feel, sort of like a member of the lodge, if you will, because they're so helpful and, just go out of their way to be nice and welcome you. Because, a lot of, I was in the baseball world too, and it's not always that way. So the NBA brotherhood is a strong one, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
All right, great. Well, I had one question that I'm sure the world wants to know, but Garrick, real quick, before we let him go. Garrick, did you have anything else you wanted to say before I asked this?
This must be the showstopper question.
Okay, well, I don't hear anything from him. Yeah, okay, let me ask you. How did you guys leave Jeff behind in Detroit? How did this happen?
Well,
did Jeff?
I cannot tell a lie. I wasn't on that bus. We have two.
Oh, okay.
We have two buses, and one leaves the media bus, the second bus,
yeah,
leaves a little bit earlier because we've got some of the gear, and so they want us to get there and get settled and pack the stuff. So when the guys do get there, they just get on and we can leave. So the first bus leaves.
Okay.
And from Auburn Hills, from the Palace to the Oakland Airport, where we leave in Pontiac, is about a half an hour ride. Everything goes normal. We pull up, go through, security, and onto the plane we go. And we sit, and we sit, and we sit. So where are these guys? And, of course, when they finally got there, we got the story. They were almost to the airport and had to turn around and go back and get Jeff. And I don't know because, we've got our security guy and, it's like a buddy system. Everybody sits in the same seat every day. So we sort of got this story secondhand, but they just thought they had everybody and off they went. The great part about that story is to see him right there at the loading dock where the bus goes in.
Yeah.
With that pizza box hanging at his side. And I'm like, Jeff, your pizza, it's all falling down. You don't hold a pizza box like that. He said, no, it's empty, man.
Oh, okay.
So he was with his sister. And I guess they just got, in a big conversation, and he sort of lost track of time. And they, the guys on the bus just, one of those moments where they just forgot about our guy and, felt bad about it. But I sent out a tweet and I said, now look now, he said, because Jeff said after the story, he said, I wish I could get some better pizza next time. And I said, well, attention, Atlanta pizza makers. I mean, this is your opportunity to get some free pub. Get Jeff a good pizza.
That is amazing. Okay, so you just kind of solved some of the riddles from this story. We didn't know the box was empty. I don't think anyone knew the box was empty. But, okay, because we were having some conspiracy theories about this. We were all like, everyone, you know how Twitter goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We were all wondering, well, Jeff didn't have that bad of a game. We won. Why would you leave him? And then someone made the comment of Dennis wanted starting, he wanted more minutes. So we were questioning if he drove the bus.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, there were plenty of pictures.
Great.
I mean, Dennis in the bus driver hat and uniform behind the wheel is great. Oh, Jeff, we didn't know you weren't on.
They do have a buddy system, everyone, so everyone who's listening. All right. That was my last question. I see Garrick. You're back. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask Bob while we have him right here?
No, Josh, you pretty much got everything. It's a joy to talk to him. One of the biggest fans.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bob, for coming on and talking to us. We know, with your knowledge of basketball and everything that you basically said to us, you're a busy guy, so we're not going to keep you too long.
Okay.
And we appreciate you.
Thanks, and we appreciate you guys too. We really do. It means so much that you're loyal through thick and thin. A lot of people, can jump on that bandwagon, but there are few of us, they're going to be there win or lose. So most of them are there win or tie, but you guys are there win or lose, and we appreciate that.
Oh, we've been
69 season, Josh.
Oh yeah, we've been there. Yeah, we were there when Tyrone Lue wasn't coaching but playing for the Hawks.
That's right.
We were there for that game.
We remind him of his game winning for us on Super Bowl Sunday in New Jersey. His greatest moment as a Hawk.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Bob, for coming on. And, man, we're going for it. We're rooting for the 5-0 finish, and we're rooting for another chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think we can do it.
Everything.
I think we can do it.
Everything, all right. Well, go Hawks, and thank you, Bob, once again for coming on. We'd love to have to talk to you sometime much later again.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so guys, thank you, Bob, for coming in. Great conversation with you, man. We pretty much covered everything this week. We talked about the games, talked about the Suns game coming up where we're going to be recording during that, so we'll be good. We'll talk about the games coming up later in the week, but I guess that's everything, man. Thank you, Garrett, for joining me today once again.
Great show today, Josh.
Great. Well, thank you guys, everyone, and tune in next time, man. Peace.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Please follow us on Twitter at Caw Cast. If you have any questions, concerns, compliments or advice, you can email us at cawcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.